And as we take each and every sacred in-breath and out-breath, automatically the higher parts of ourselves come into a complete alignment. And there is a very clear symbol that comes in. I will describe it to you. It comes in from the right, from an angle, coming down. It is a golden arrow. It's quite large. But as you look at this arrow moving down the shaft to the tip, there is a circle. And so, if you can imagine clearly in your spiritual eye, a golden arrow coming from the right, coming into the field from the right side, and it's pointing towards down or it's coming up. And the point of the golden arrow is pointed down on an angle. You look at it and you can see the shaft towards the end, but before you get to the end, there is a circle. It is made of the same material as this arrow, which is golden. So it is an arrow that has this golden round circle in it before it hits the end. See this clearly in your spiritual eye as it comes to you, for this is a specific gift and coding coming from a very high celestial civilization. I do not know the name of this civilization, but it is an ascended civilization. And somehow, in the way in the past of the millions and billions of years on this planet, there is a connection from this planet to this ascended civilization. And as you can imagine clearly in your spiritual eye, this very specific symbol that is sent from this ascended civilization and is bringing with it codes, information, harmonics. It's bringing with it informational wisdom to be unpacked, integrated, and used at this time. And we simply breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath. And each in-breath and out-breath, there is an unfoldment of this symbol. It has not revealed itself yet. And so all we need to do is simply breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath. And what comes in the background is the whitest white light. It is a white that's beyond description. And we just simply look at the background of this white anchoring light that comes from the highest celestial realms of light. And on the right, coming first, and in front of this white light, if you can imagine a waterfall and this symbol coming in front of it as described. We breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath. We know to do this, and we know that we are experiencing a benevolent, loving, all-encompassing grace, a blessing, an anointment, a healing, a balance. So we simply breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath. And as we do, the white light that we see, we can now discern the streaming of light as little pinpoint rays of illumined white light There's billions and zillions of them. And we can see the strands individually. And we realize they're like a streaming, like a curtain with many, many, many streams of this brilliant light that is creating this brilliance of light. And as our eyes begin to adjust, as we begin to expand in our awareness and our consciousness, as we become more ethereal, as we begin to move more lightly, we understand that we are to enter through this curtain of light. And so we begin to move, and as we move, we see that we are in our light bodies. We are indeed luminescent beings moving into a luminescent corridor. And we begin to understand and sense perhaps this symbol that is there is holding this experience for this to take place. We prepare ourselves because we know how very special this is. And as our eyes continue to look in front of us to all of the streamings of this white light that's beyond explanation or definition. It is organic. It's not solid. And so we know now to go in. We simply move inside without having to put any of the strands aside. And as we go in, we are in the most brilliant of brilliance, of brilliance, of brilliance. We sense and say we must be in a supernova. The brilliance is so bright and so radiant. And yet, we are comfortable, at ease, and balanced. We come to understand that we are activating from our higher light body and consciously doing so. Now, as we are in this brilliance of light, we see coming from many different directions most radiant beings whose brilliance can be discerned in the brilliance we find ourselves in. And it is as if they recognize that they can identify and perceive us in our radiance. And as there's several that come forward, we see that they band together, most benevolent, in their benevolent, shining faces and robes. And there is a telepathic exchange, and what comes up is a tetrahedron, a crystal tetrahedron. This crystal tetrahedron has many facets within it. And as we pierce into it, we can see various colors, different from the white bright that we're surrounded with, but the many multiplicity of colors within this crystal. Indeed, we understand that this crystal that has come forward is a crystal from this ascended civilization. And simply all we do in our physical, mental, and emotional bodies is take the in-breath and out-breath. And with each in-breath and out-breath, we are more interconnected, simulated, and processing into the experience. And indeed, there is an invitation now to enter into this crystal, this tetrahedron that has many colors, codes, geometries, and next level where the most radiant ones are holding this sacred space. And we enter. And as we enter, there is a kaleidoscope of colors, geometries, and tones, unique to us, but as a collective. And as our eyes begin to observe where we are in this crystalline matrix of illumined light, we now individually as well as collectively perceive what is in this crystal, the forms that come, the geometries that now form in front of you, the informational codes that seem to stream by like bits of chromosomes. The very factors of life seem to be in this place, moving and floating by, different colors, different geometries, some forming, some disassembling, various movement of organic creation. You are in the temple of creation. We take a moment to absorb and to observe all the components that float by, continually movement, and expresses itself to you in all of its parts, disassembled and then assembled, disassembled and then assembled, disassembled and then assembled. And the most radiant ones are saying, beloveds, remember, you are powerful co-creators, and your thoughts create. Your envisioning creates. And they hold this sacred space for you. In this kaleidoscope of all possibilities, what is it that you would want for your world? What is it you would want for your community? What is it that you would want for your family and your friends? What is it that you would want for yourself? And the idea of imagination, imagining, all the components to create what you envision for yourself, for your family, your friends, community, country, world, and beyond that. So, beloveds, as the most radiance hold within the curtain of radiant white light, you are in this crystal, and all your possibilities, dreams, and heart yearnings are now easily already available for you to create in this moment. Embracing the powerful co-creators that you are by your thought, your visioning, and your feeling. What is it that you would create for your world? What is it that you would create for yourself? What is it that you would create for the human kingdom, the animal, the plant, and the mineral? What is it that you would create? For here you are, beloveds, as the co-creators of a golden age to come. And it is in your illumined intention and thoughts, your heart's dreaming that you have held for so long. You're wishing, you're praying. What is it that you would create? And so we invite you to be in this temple of creation of the most essence and components of life, of creation, of color, of music, of geometries, of form. In this kaleidoscope, this temple of creation, we find ourselves. We continue to use the sacred in-breath and out-breath, knowing that each in-breath and out-breath is sacred, expands, and enhances the experience. And so we now bring our thoughts together and pinpoint those things we would see in our world, we would see in our lives, and in the lives of others. That we would see and envisioning what is the picture that you paint? What is the music that you hear? As you feel the energy moving in through your hands and in other locations upon the physical body, your focus is to take the components of creation literally into your hands and mold and create what you would want to see in the world, what you want to see in your life and the life of your loved ones and the life of humanity and the life of the animals and the plants and the minerals. What you would want to see for all streams of consciousness. For you are, beloved, the Creator God. And it is in the divinity in the highest parts of yourself that you create. Transcendent to all miscreations, blockages, distortions. For you are in the light of lights and within the temple of creation, in its purity. So let's create. Let's create. Let's create. Take note how amazing the vividness of our imagination and the clarity of our thoughts. Within this temple of creation, our thoughts, our visioning are amplified, and we understand that from this level of purity in our creations, undefiled, that this is integrated into the very crystalline matrix of our physical body, imprinted, integrated, uncorruptible, as we stay within our position for this experience to integrate into the physical, mental, and emotional bodies. That we carry this purity of creation as we go out into the three density world, where we can impact, guide, help, and assist. From this place of creation in its purity. We look at our creations now in its purity and in its form. And we savor the experience of it all. And how grateful we are to those radiant ones and to that ascended consciousness that has brought this into being. We continue to feel various sensations around our body. But in our light body, the integration and the purity is seamless and with grace. We now know that it's time for us to return. But when we do return, we return different. We now know it's time to exit within this tetrahedron. Crystal holds all the codes of creation. Remembering that our amplified visioning and thoughts are more accurate, more empowered, more radiant. We step out with these skills back into the illumination of this brilliant, white, streaming light. We observe once again those radiant ones that came to help and to assist. With great gratitude, we send our love to them as they send their love to us. And we automatically know we begin to step down our energy as they too, and we begin to step out of this brilliant white energy. And we take note very briefly of the symbol that came, that held this co-creational process together. And as it begins to fade, all those part of this begin to draw in their electromagnetic field, as we know to draw in ours. And we prepare ourselves to be back fully in our physical, mental, and emotional bodies, but still carrying the experience, the coding of emblazoned visioning and accurate, pinpointed thoughts. On the count of three, we will prepare ourselves to be back, awake, alert, and very grounded. 1. 2. Take a deep breath in. And 3. We are back, awake, alert, and we are very grounded.